We're going to talk about some old tea. We're going to talk about some new tea. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's mostly for me anyway. Wow, okay, so we've had a very eventful, 24 hours, if I'm entirely honest. A few developments. We're gonna talk about cases around Adora, updates in the gender critical research. Things that I specifically wanted to avoid happening was gender criticals finding things, and I can update you mostly on what they have found. And then I can talk about some more stuff about Adora, and some drama. And as a little extra teaser, we'll be able to talk about Nate's debates. We can go back and talk about Nate debates, because there is some new information that I've been informed of. And part of our fun is going to be walking through this with our gender critical besties. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's bad. Oh, these last 24 hours have been annoying, to say the least. Annoying. So we're going to start with a little update to tell you what I did today. Today, so there's a lot of gender criticals who are very... actually, let me not use their term, because... TERFs, who are upset that I won't share like the entire docket that I have. More than the linked accounts bad? Not that bad. Not as bad as Adora.
Bad.
Different kind of thing. So yeah, I decided to sit down with some gender criticals today for a little interview, Q&A back and forth on what I knew, what I didn't know. A lot of them were very upset. There was part of the reason why I chose to do that was because they have been running with this narrative because they're mad that I won't give them the file. They're running with the current narrative that I'm hiding the file from them because secretly I'm part of Adora's thing. Part of Adora's thing. Which is insane, because, why would I report it if it was... Yeah. That's their accusation. They're literally pulling at straws and making up stories. So, you know what? I decided to sit down and have a conversation. And their conclusion is, of course, that I'm protecting Adora, which I'm not. I did contact the authorities, as I said I would. And I handed them literally all of the information that I could. To answer a question from one of the TERFs, they have not yet picked up the laptop. There is no guilt by association, because here's how crazy this gets. So yeah, they're saying that I'm protecting P3DO, being Adora, which again, why would I report it if this was what's behind it? Why would I also hand all of that information to other people? You literally explained why you weren't giving it out. Exactly.
If you were part of it, you wouldn't have handed it out.
If I were part of it, I would not have handed it out. The thing is, so yeah, I sat down, talked to them. I actually feel like there are a few people who did reach out to me in private to talk to me that hey, they actually appreciated me speaking up, and even they were understanding what I was saying. But of course, we have people like Christy who have to spin their own narrative. So let's talk about Christy. Brayden, anytime that you speak to Christy, it's going to go this far. They're desperate to create a narrative about trans people. That's their whole thing. That's what they do. And I can't necessarily fault you, because you are extremely young and you have been through a lot of trauma. I cannot necessarily fault you, but yes, every time you go to Christy with something like this, their whole thing is to spin a narrative. They took what you told them and weaved it into an entirely different story. That's called abstractionism, which usually is part of cancel culture, which I thought wasn't their thing. Anyway, so yeah, talked to them, answered maybe like 45 minutes worth of questions. A lot of them were like genuine questions or like things that they didn't know. And well, of course they're not convinced, but yeah, they've been running with that story. They kind of got off of it until our friend Braden decided to come up and talk about their experiences with Mel and Co. Specifically, what this relates back to, and that's Nathan DeBathens, our long lost
Piece of shit. Piece of shit.
live.
Sorry.
So the thing is I actually have screenshots from my conversation with Braden. Braden basically went up there and was like, hey, I was underage and I received an explicit image from Nate Debates without my asking for it. It was completely unsolicited. That's Braden. That is Braden's experience. That is Braden's story with Nate Debates. I want to be clear, Braden hasn't sent me evidence of that specifically, but this isn't what it's really about.
I would like to add that, like, I wasn't underage, but I had that exact same experience with Nate. So I'm inclined to believe that I'm not the only person who received unsolicited pictures like that.
So here's the thing. Christy is spinning a whole new narrative. Christy, who's also like participating in the live, just, you know, by proxy. I am so excited for your future blackmail, by the way, Christy.
Watch out for me and Christy lives.
Anyway, as I said, Braden received this image. Underage. That is Braden's story. Again, I don't have anything to confirm that necessarily, but I'm not here to throw any doubt on it. I'm just telling you I have not verified the story personally. Braden did talk to Abby, Reggie, and myself. Apparently also talked to Mel. I don't have any evidence of that conversation, but I'm not disinclined to believe it. Because Braden seemed to have messaged like a few of us. Here's the thing. I'm looking through a lot of these messages here. I haven't fully read through the Abby ones. However, I can show you my messages with Braden. Because
Cedar.
I know Braden's in a request. Oh my god, Cedar. Can you... as a matter of fact, let me cover this. Go ahead and dock her away.
She's like, not bedtime here.
The noise, a dog.
Yeah, the dog really decided to go wild now.
It's her like food thing. It's like a thing where she has to hit it around to get like pieces of kibble out of it.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. The thing is oh, here we go. Thank you, Braden. Braden sent me the messages. Braden, if you could do me a super solid, could you send me the entire message? Because I want to verify whether or not you told Mel that you were a minor. Because the thing is that, obviously, should this be true, then no question about it, Nathan DeBathens committed a significant crime, sending unsolicited images to an underage person, to a minor. There's no, like that's... But the thing is Christy heard about this story and immediately spun on her heels so fast, honestly, lickety-split fast, and turned it into an entirely different story, to the point that I will now be showing you my DMs with Braden. where you can explicitly see Brayden did not confide to me that they were a minor. And I will do that now. The thing is that their whole thing, they literally have admitted they don't have evidence to this. They don't have any actual evidence to these claims. Okay.
She gotta be gone. You're lost. Did you just get here?
Okay. I'm back. Perfect. Hey, it's me. So this is Brayden. You can verify that that is Brayden because Brayden will be in the comments. These are my DMs with Brayden. This is around the time immediately after the second Mel meetup. Christy's crew had that number wrong. It was the second Mel meetup that this occurred. Where Nathan DeBathans assaulted Mel. So, hey Andy. They had indicated to me in the live that they had a story to share, so I said, yeah, you can share your story here. And anything, and if you want things to remain anonymous, that's your call. Cool. So, we're gonna search together. We're gonna put on our peepers, and we're gonna see if we can find where Brayden told me that they were a minor. Okay. Obviously the continuation. Hey, so like I told Mel and Reggie, I'm just kind of struggling with how to come forward about some of these things. I applaud all that have, but I just feel like I'm not strong enough in a way. Also, some of the stuff that happened to me happened before the meetup, so I would have come to terms with this sooner, and I could have done my best to prevent what happened to others, which, by the way, don't ever tell yourself that, like, you are not in control of that. It is not your fault. A predator's gonna predate. Comes with this sooner. I could have done my best to prevent what happened to others. I feel guilty, even though I shouldn't. It's a horrible situation that I'm trying. Okay, let's continue. Here we go. Just kind of struggling. Some stuff happened with me before the meetup. I feel guilty, and it's hard to wrap my head around. And thank you for your voice you gave me tonight. I just wanted it to be known that it's not only women that they're doing this to. I know some people have that stigma. Now, remember, during this time, I'm receiving a lot of messages, so I'm not. I didn't respond a whole lot because of how much I was kind of dealing with. I'm sorry if I'm not making any sense. I'm just very tired, Andy, and also kind of amazed that I'm speaking to you. But it's very sad that it's on these terms. I had also considered myself a regular fan of all of you guys, even Nate. I started engaging more with their lives, started gifting them, and then would request my presence, and what they would request my presence more and more. I started speaking to them off and on until I received an unsolicited photo. Unsolicited and unwanted photo. I hope that briefly describes my experience. My friends report that they've had similar encounters, but I don't want to speak for them. Not to mention this all started... this all started when I confided in Nate by telling him I was gay. I said, I'm listening, and just thank you, Andy. And then this last one was about Adora, and I'm going to be real, I didn't answer like any DMs that I got during this time. So, those were my entire conversation. That was my entire conversation with Brayden. I can even demonstrate, just in case you're curious. Brayden is on Discord. And this, as of 9 o'clock today, approximately, was my entire conversation history with Brayden on Discord. There's nothing there. But they're going to run with this narrative that I knew because... to them, it's a logical deduction. There's no logical reason that anybody else would know, but I wouldn't.
Hold on.
Which, like, do you share every day? Like, I want to be clear. We had messages from about 24 people all telling us their stories. Not every one of them got shared. I only just now found out about this group chat that existed between Brayden, Abby, and Reggie today. I have screenshots of them now. The thing is that it, like, should this story be true that Brayden is saying, I'm having to choose my words carefully for,
I'm gonna send you this message that has the personal story blocked out, but it has the part where it shows on November 5th of 2023, they told Abby that they were in college.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna get a message just in a moment. Yeah, this was like 2023. That all of this stuff happened.
It's gonna go into...
Did any of those people get called out for those people? Nate did. I did not go with every story. Not every single story was used, especially with stories like Brayden's, where they're obviously a little bit more emotionally charged.
Okay, it's on Cold Talk right now.
Cool. Let me go ahead and I can now we're gonna do the thing that we love, and that's where we point our camera at a kind of dirty screen. But I'm not gonna get off the live, download it just to do a weird wiggly bob. But this is
the message that she's about to show you is a message from Brayden to Abby when all of this happened, and it shows the date. The part that is blocked out that I want to say that I just blocked out is a personal trauma story from Brayden's childhood that we are not going to show to everybody on the internet, but it does show in this message that Brayden did tell Abby in November of last year that he was in college. That's the only thing that we had knowing their age.
all right. Here we go. I'm in college right now, just trying to make my grandma, the woman who raised me, proud. But it's so hard. I want to do it for her, but the way I feel just isn't okay. Sorry for the trauma dump. I don't mind if you give Reggie a brief description, and that was before they started their group chat. So that is the only indication that Abby got of their age. I'm still... Oh, okay. I do have a DM from Brayden. Let me go ahead and flip this back around. What's up? Peace out, Cub Scouts. No, I'm kidding. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and look at hopefully the complete list of messages. No.
Just real quick, Earthly, the reason that she didn't respond was because she, at that time, those the messages she showed from Brayden are at the same time that all of us were reaching out to, like mainly like her, because she was the one who hosted the live about Nate, and we were all reaching out to her about our stories because there was a ton of people that had these kinds of experiences with Nate, and none of us knew about each other. We all thought like, oh, I must be the only one they're doing this to. We felt isolated, whatever. So everybody was reaching out to her at this time. So she had a bunch of messages. It wasn't like she just had these ones from Brayden and was ignoring them intentionally, but she had a bunch of them coming in from different people.
I had so many messages. Sorry, give me a moment.
Nadia, the thing that's going on is the TERFs are trying to say that Andy knew that Nate was sending messages to underage people, aka Brayden, and didn't talk about it. And Andy is trying to say, I found this out today. What the hell?
Yep.
And they're saying, no, you didn't. You actually,
You knew all along.
You knew all along. You are a PEDO sympathizer. And Andy's like, no, I'm not. What? And this is just Andy proving that there was no age mentioned. She had no idea.
Yeah, so to be clear, the timeline is such that Andy found out about Brayden's experiences when Andy was finding out about all of our experiences, and Andy did, at that time, call out Nate, and Nate was like literally canceling it. This was something where it was like, they found out about all these stories from all of us coming forward and saying, hey, this actually happened to me, once we found out about the stuff that happened at the meetup. So she found out, immediately exposed it, but still at that time never knew that Brayden was not an adult.
Yeah, I just got Mel's messages. So these are the messages that were given to Mel. So again, Christy's narrative is that all of these indicate that Brayden is underage. So here's Mel's messages in their entirety. Cool. So here we are. We have, hi Mel, reaching out to you, Andy, and Reggie. I'm struggling on how to come forward with some of this, but just wanted to start by saying hello. And yeah, Mel saying feel free to share. Braden went on to say, hey, so like I had told Andy and Reggie, I'm just kind of struggling with how to come forward with all of these things. I applaud you all that you've been able to, but I just feel like I'm not strong enough in that way. It's very similar to the message I received. Also, some of the stuff that happened to me before the meetup with you guys. So if I would have come to terms with this sooner, this looks like this is like, I'm not faulting you, Braden, if you're trying to tell multiple people your story. This just seems to be the copy and paste, and that is okay. So it is the same exact message, just all kind of truncated. So yeah, that's.
Go ahead, screenshot and tell us where you see the age.
Like, if you can tell me.
Where's Waldo? Where's the age?
Like, again, I'm getting messages from dozens of people, and I'm being given no inclination whatsoever that any of them are minor. Like I'm not, like, when I was receiving these messages, I didn't pry people to tell me, like I didn't probe into their stories. I didn't like they told me what they were comfortable with, and that's what I took. No, Braden did not meet up with us. Braden was a victim of Nate debates, from what Braden has told us. Apparently, as a minor, again, allegedly as a minor, received an unsolicited package picture from Nathan DeBathans.
And the people are asking why the addressing Adora background is up. Is because she wanted to throw a quick one up, and this kind of does tie into that.
It does.
Because this all happened because of that live that she did.
Oh yeah, they're basically so royally pissed off at me right now. Like a bunch of bees, because I won't give them that information.
Like, literally, if Andy would have just handed over all of the information to them, they would have never done any of this. But now they're just pulling at strings and straws, and then they said they're going to go live tomorrow, calling Andy a PEDO sympathizer, or just a PEDO herself, because of this exact interaction, because they said she knew the age. And so Andy's just being like, I didn't know the age. No one I knew the age. The most that we got from this person was, he said he was in college. No one questioned the age because he said he was in college, and he didn't specify otherwise.
Yeah, so their whole thing is literally, like, I even posted this on Reddit, like, the fact that Christy was blackmailing me, and apparently Christy's gonna do it again, so we're excited for that one. So essentially, here are my DMs with Christy that I got November 5th. So this is like, this is the morning after my live. She messaged me and goes, hey, is there a possibility I can be added to the group? I know I was on the OF stream, and I've been saying this about him for 1 year. This is about Adora. And I say, I cannot, but I appreciate your inquiry. Pretty polite response, but I set that standard pretty early in my own videos. Yeah, I literally have left Christy alone. Christy is doing this because she's pissed and wants to blackmail.
Andy isn't even on the app anymore. They're like, you shouldn't be on the app, and she's like, I'm not.
Interesting. Something I can't share because I was asked not to. Sorry, I'm receiving a few side images. Let me go back to. Where's Christy? Sorry, your profile's so basic, it's hard to find you. There you go. So yeah, I said, no, I cannot, but I appreciate the inquiry. She says, kind of disappointing. We've been calling him an incel, transmaxing P3DL for a year, and as a female on the other side, specifically fighting against this, I find it very hypocritical that you will only allow people from your side to obtain this information. By the way, when I read this message, I was very tempted and even typed it out, but decided to delete it because it was only going to be trouble. I typed out, the burden of your disappointment is a light one to bear. figured I didn't need to be that cheeky. And then she hits me with, also, can you show proof you went to the police, report number, and date? Which is a fair question to ask. The problem is that I put my personal identifying information on there. You're not going to get it.
Yeah. Christy was like, if you just give us the police report number, then we will stop. And it's just like, why? Like, literally, you're going to get my full name. And it's just like, you think, like, why is that such a bad idea? Why do you think? Have you watched your own lives?
Yeah, you gave me no indication. This is the part where I start to feel like we're kind of pushing on the whole blackmail territory. Christy says, all you men are protecting him. I'll go as far as to say there are many in your group that knew and are looking to save face.
That's what she's doing.
You guys all hate females. It's apparent and disgusting. Send the proof with date and time you went to the police. Otherwise, I will. And then went on to do a little quote. I'm not sure what this quote is. Let them know if we find anything, we are airing it all. We are airing it all out, everything, so they better hope they aren't involved. Which I'm like, okay. Oh, hey, she blocked me. Did she block me? Let me check. She blocked me.
No way.
I just wanted to be clear. Somebody said, oh, I'm getting an echo. Somebody said make a report and block your name out. So to be clear, they're asking for the report number and date so that they could look it up themselves. So it's not, oh, we'll send you this report and block everything out. They want the report number so they can look it up. So we wouldn't have any way to like block out her information. It would just be on there.
Right. So yeah, that to me is where I'm like, this feels like blackmail. Because you're saying that I'm protecting Adora, that I'm potentially involved, and that you're going to go to the police, and that anybody kind of connected with this is obviously going to get lumped in.
No, and ever since Andy did this live, Christy and her friends have been being like they've been sitting there just like, well, just wait till we find out your involvement. Just wait. They're like, we're going to find it out. You have 48 hours. Like, it's really crazy to watch go down because they want so badly for Andy to be involved that they just keep saying on live that she is. And she isn't. Like, if she was involved, she wouldn't have taken this to the police. If she was involved, she wouldn't have taken it to TikTok so that they could do whatever they're doing right now.
Yeah, so their whole... so basically, this is their whole theory. This is their harebrained, like, galaxy brain theory that they have going on here. Is... basically, we were all in this ring. Cuttlefish, who is a kind of co-host with Christy, even described it as an island. So it's giving Epstein's Island, if you will. Like that they're gonna find an island, and when they finally cross whatever precipice where we all conducted our evil Epstein-like business, they're all gonna release it. They don't actually have anything. They literally have nothing. Zit, zada, nada.
Because there is nothing.
There is nothing. But they're literally accusing me of it already. They're accusing me of being a pedo. They're accusing me of being a pedo protector, all kinds of things. When the reality is all I didn't do, the only thing that I failed to do was to give Christy the information. That's it. And that's why they're attacking me. That is why you will hear all about it. You're going to hear so much about it. I'm sure that you will hear all kinds of crazy whack-a-mole stories.
Ask Christy for proof.
Yeah, just ask Christy for proof. Except you did do it. Show me the proof. If you can show me the proof, I'll admit to it.
Or at least, like, if it is that bad, because if what you guys are, like, saying about her is that bad, if it is that bad, please call the fucking cops.
Yeah, so
Please.
we, as I've now demonstrated to you, we were given zero information that this individual was under the age of 18 when they had received this picture. If I had been given that information, Nathan DeBathans would have been outed for that specifically, especially. But also, like, it's kind of crazy to even say that we're protecting Nathan DeBathans when I'm the one who outed him for everything else.
Yeah, nobody's protecting Nate. Honestly, please, everybody call the cops on Nate, please. Now, yesterday. Should have done it with the first live.
Well, and to be clear, the stories about Nate that we came out about, people were claiming we were lying, and people that are associated with them were claiming that. So if anybody was protecting Nate, it wasn't us.
No.
So yeah, they literally...
It's literally like a really like shitty giant hissy fit over not getting access to the Discord with the stuff about Adora.
Didn't you just speak about this in VC? I did. I literally was like, let me be fair. Let me give them some information.
You were even ready to send them screenshots, being like, there's no age. Christy
There's
sent
no
the screenshot that she had, and it still didn't show an age. It was just the same screenshot of the person telling their story to Andy, and there was still no age. And Christy was like, don't pivot! Don't pivot! It was really interesting.
Like, who's pivoting? Nobody's... Like, you are making something up, and tomorrow they're going to go live, and they're going to continue to make something up. And they're recording this conversation now, and they're going to continue to make it up. All because I didn't surrender the information that they demanded. Nowhere was an age informed to us. It's just hilarious that I have outed. I'm the one who did. Let me be clear. Behind me was a team of people. But as was pointed out to me, even by Christie's crew, who acknowledged it and know it. I am the mouthpiece oftentimes behind these things when we're talking about things like this. I am the one who often makes some kind of strategy, some kind of form, some kind of decision before we hit that go live button. And let me be very, 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 very clear. Braden has just messaged me. They want to make it clear. They are still very young. They were in college. They were emancipated while a minor, and that's how they were able to start college. They are still just barely 18. So please...
Like, Nate is actually a P3.
Don't harass Braden. I know that to some of us, it feels super obvious. Don't go to Christy with something like this because they're gonna warp it. They're recording this, like I said, they're gonna warp this. Everything that I'm saying, they're going to warp. Minors were allowed in the servers? No, this is like an individual one-on-one DM. Probably Snapchat. That was what
Nate liked to use.
What Nate liked to use because, no history. Yeah, please do not harass Braden. Not everybody knows everything that goes on TikTok. To Braden, this is a group of people who are talking about a group of people that he felt like had let him down. Braden did just confirm it was Snapchat.
Of course it was. Sorry.
Yeah. Snapchat for all of us.
But yeah, basically, I've done their job for them. The gender criticals, as they like to say, have been talking about this for a year. Adora being XYZ. They're mad they didn't find the information first. They're mad the only reason that they found it is me. Yes, they have found a significant portion.
And let's be so clear. Andy isn't even the one who found the information. A friend literally messaged Andy that morning saying, you're gonna want to see what I found. I got all my ducks in a row and I need to show you this. So we don't know how long it took that person to find them.
I do.
But that morning...
I found out. I messaged them today.
How long?
They started Saturday.
Yeah, see, so Andy didn't even know this was happening. They literally just messaged Andy and said, I wanted to make sure all of my ducks were in a row before I gave you this. Make sure everything was connecting the way it should have been. Do what you will with this information. And we found out everything that morning and went live that afternoon. So, yeah, no, it wasn't we found out that, these connections were made that morning. We were sent an invite to a Discord where everything was already there that morning.
Hillary doesn't want to have her personal vote. Yeah, it is. They're not entitled to this information, but they want it because they're mad that they didn't get it themselves. I have Basically, like I said, they have been working at getting Adora taken down for a year now. They have been coming up with every accusation across the board, blah, 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 blah. I did it for them. I did it. Me and my team found all of the evidence needed to now twice bring Adora down. Yes, I have given the police that information. Thank you for asking. Like, that's why they're upset. Because I did it and it hurts their feelings. I did it and they don't get to claim it. I did it and now they want to attack me because I won't even give them the information that I have evidence to that they've been accusing Adora of for a year now. The problem is they had no evidence. I even talked to Christy directly today. She said, we have been saying this for a year. And I said, the problem is you're going based on vibes and I needed evidence. And she said, fair enough. They're just mad because I won't comply with them.
Yeah, also, like, they have found a lot of evidence on their own. Like, a lot of it. They've seen a lot of it with their own eyes because of their own evidence finding. They should also go to the cops. Like, they're like, we don't believe Andy went to the cops. Okay, go to the cops. You have the evidence now. Go, 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 go. Please. The more people that report, the better. And we already have, 5 or 6 people? Please, add more people to that report. Report Adora. Nobody wants Adora protected. Get her ass behind bars.
I do just, I know you kind of said this, but like, saying I've been saying all this stuff for a year and now you have proof and I want you to give it to me implies I've been making all these claims for a year without proof.
They're actually, like, this is actually the kind of crazy thing that they do. Like, this is outright accused me of a lot of real messed up stuff. Because they're mad at me. And they are so convinced that I'm part of it. And that's the one thing that really fucking hurts them. Really bothers them, especially Cuttlefish. Because Cuttlefish, as he described it, had a hair on his taint that I'm part of it.
That's all he needs.
That's all he needs. Admitting to me outright that he has no evidence. Because it's literally just a gut feeling. And that's all you will ever see from them. That gut feeling. They're going to draw a bunch of conclusions like, oh, yeah, these people were told about this, but somehow you weren't told about it? Yep. Sometimes that happens. I did not see this group chat until today. So, yep, sometimes we don't share screenshots between each other.
We literally heard Abby had a group chat with this person, and we just DM'd Abby and said, hey, can we see that? Didn't know it happened. Got it and said, okay, there's no age in here. Anyways, like, nobody knew about this. Nobody talks about every group chat, every DM they send to people, no matter how close of friends you are. Maybe you share some, but not every single one is just like, oh, by the way, it's like, not even in a relationship. Like, you don't go, by the way, I DM'd this person, by the way. Like, it's just weird. They just expected everyone to be connected at the hip and with the same brain cell using the same brain cell. Sorry, the live is this. They're just watching you type.
Sorry, there's a lot going on. I have like 3 different people DMing me.
I would talk, but it does the echo thing.
It's not a VC call.
Okay, now I can, yeah. Oh no, I can't.
It was 800 a little bit ago. Can you let everyone know about... Oh, God. Am I gonna... Yeah, so...
Okay. Yeah, guys. So for anybody who's like just showed up, she's got like messages and stuff coming in, but essentially just what we're saying is the gist of this. No, yeah, Janice, it's not me. It's Annie's mic. It's like when she like you probably noticed now, like she's muted and it's not happening. It's not on my end. It's on hers. This happened the other night too. But yeah, so essentially the other night, right? So like earlier in this week, you know, we got on live to talk about Adora because uh somebody that we know, like found a bunch of stuff about her, right? So we had a whole live about it. The information about her is really traumatic information to even just look at. The stuff that that this person found and gave to us is traumatic stuff. Yeah, I'm blaming Andy. It's traumatic stuff. It's like all of us saw it and we're like, I don't think I can sleep tonight. So we wanted to be very careful with who this got into the hands of, because if all this stuff got into the wrong hands and then got spread to everybody in the Reddit, like people in the Reddit can't possibly consent to the things they were about to see. We had literal people who we did share it with so they could like confirm that we weren't lying, who said, I wish I hadn't seen that. Like they gave us consent and then we're like, I wish I had it. It was that bad, right? So then now, you know, people who are, what we call them gender criticals, but it's just people who are like transphobes, basically, like Christy and those kinds of people are now, they asked Sandy for evidence or for access to the Discord that has the information. She told them no respectfully. So then they started basically trying to like blackmail her into giving them that information. But we know that they are the kind of people that would just spread it everywhere and not think about the fact that there are people who can't consent to seeing that stuff and will be legitimately like impacted mentally in a negative way. Like this is really sensitive stuff that people can't just be being shown. It's that bad. So that's why it's not being handed out, and it's being handed out only as necessary. So now they're trying to make implications, and basically there's a person named Brayden. I think they're probably still in the live, and they were on Christy's live earlier tonight and saying that people were messaging them when they were underage and that Nate had sent them an unsolicited picture when they were underage as well. The messages that happened between people in Melanco and Brayden, first of all, they weren't anything explicit. They weren't any kind of messages that are bad. Also, nobody in Melanco seemingly even like had any idea that Brayden was not an adult when those messages were coming through, because Brayden said they were in college. That's the only indication, and that went to Abby. So, but even so, the messages weren't anything bad anyway. The only one that's concerning is that Brayden has claimed, allegedly, that Nate had sent them a unsolicited picture of their lower region without their consent, obviously. And also Nate was not underage, and this person most likely was at the time. So that's kind of what we're discussing. And the main thing is just that Christy and her friends are mad, and so they're trying to make it out that like Andy and everybody else were defending this or hiding it, and that's just not the case. So that's pretty much the synopsis. Yes, pink-haired Adora.
Hi, I'm back. Okay. So, like, it's actually like, it's actually so. No, I'm sorry, I can't. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. It's actually really deeply upsetting. And I told Christy this. Like, Christy called me into a random VC. I in a lot of the ops servers. I always have been. Surprise for those who didn't know. I have always been in the ops servers. On main, my face, it's
Not
me,
hiding.
not hiding. So I get pinged by Christy, maybe an hour ago. No, an hour and 15 minutes ago, approximately. Basically going, we need you in BC immediately. I will. sorry. Yeah, I got pinged about an hour and a half ago. We need you in VC immediately. Little did they know I was watching Cuttlefish the whole time. Because of course I was. I just got out of VC with you. I knew you'd be talking about me. And that's my favorite subject.
This
So yeah, I hop into I hop into their into the fortress, and I'm like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Some new person came forward, Brayden." I was like, "Okay, about what?" Because I ain't done nothing. What are you gonna like? Okay, I'm interested. We love undercover Andy. There was nothing undercover. It was overcover. They literally just let me go. And that's the thing is I've actually built like some rapport with some of these turfs. To the point that like they won't say it in front of a whole bunch of people, but they'll DM me on the side and be like, "Hey, you actually made sense here. Hey, I support what you did there. Hey," dropping me as per usual, dropping the information.
Yeah, actually, after both these VCs, you've had turfs come into your DMs and be like, "Hey, I didn't want to say this in there, but I believe you, so I see what you were saying." Because they know that you guys will eat your own alive for saying that. Everyone has to be like, "No, kill the witch."
So, yeah, so like, I'm like, "What's up?" And we finally hop in VC because Christy needed 10 minutes to hop up on the live and tell everybody it's gonna happen. And I pop in because I'm like, "What's up? I ain't gonna hide from this. How you holding up?" "Pretty terrible, Demi. A lot's happening." I hop in Christy's VC and I'm like, "What's poppin'?" And they're like, "You are a P3DO and you knew everything." I said, "What are you talking about?" And then they went through and basically intentionally misrepresented Brayden's DMs, which, as I have now read out to most of you who are in this live, none of those DMs mentioned that they're underage, and especially the DMs with me do not mention that they're underage.
Brayden told Christie's crew that he was underage at the time. Brayden did not tell anybody else when those messages were said that they were underage at the time. Because trust me, those obviously would have been taken seriously. Like they were taken seriously regardless. But in the aspect that Brayden is underage, yeah, like the cops would have been called on Nate immediately.
Yep. Give me a moment, because like little do you know, like your messages disappear on Snapchat, but it doesn't disappear on Snapchat end. Just to let you know.
Snapchat can pull all your chats if they end up in a lawsuit.
So yeah, they basically are going to say that I left a whole bunch out, which I didn't. Cuttlefish has been digging and has now spent more time digging than our friend did, who gave us all the information. So probably has some stuff that we didn't have initially. Hell, even when I did my own digging, trying to recreate that friend's steps to getting to all of that evidence, I found new stuff that wasn't shown to me. If you want to know about what Adora actually did, because it's like double bad than what it was earlier, go to Echo's YouTube, ask Echo about it, because Echo posted the whole live. You'll get
you go to YouTube and you select the part that says, not the videos part that says live, the part that says lives.
It's Echo.
Interesting. Sorry, go ahead. Let me mute.
Echo's YouTube is Echo Debates. We can't pin because I'm up here. Echo, if you are in here and want to comment it again, but it's literally just Echo, like the word ECHO and then debates. Yeah, Echo just commented. ECHODEBATES. Echo Debates on YouTube. Documentary on the Dell. Like, listen. Honestly, there could be a show about this, but it would be crazy.
Sorry, I'm still being handed information as things come. Yeah, so please check out Echo's YouTube, just for that one YouTube video specifically, because it features me, because every other video just won't compare, unless they also feature me.
You're not beating the allegations.
Like this is actually like am being accused of every single thing that I have outed Adora in and outed Nate in. They're trying to implicate me. They're basically trying to say that Mel and Co has been an Epstein Islands of things.
Just because we knew Adora.
Just because we knew Adora. Because I outed Adora. They want to pin it on everybody else. This is
crazy,
why.
I'd like to take a tally of every single person that they know on TikTok that they know what that person did like 10 years ago. I'd be like, what? Do you know what Peachy did 10 years ago? No. Do you know what Andy did 10 years ago? No. Do you know what, I don't know, Chico did 10 years ago? Let me pick random viewer number Edith 10 years ago. Do you know what Edith's internet? No! Nobody knows these things about people. This isn't like Adora. Literally, after the first Mel meetup, I looked at Andy and I said, Adora creeps me the fuck out. If we go, I'm not saying this to them because I don't want them to be upset with me, but Adora creeps me the fuck out. Any other meetup we go to, I do not want to be alone with Adora. I didn't know why at the moment, but I was just like, bro, I have a bad feeling. I didn't know what it was, but now I see what it was. But it's not like we were besties. It's not like we were sitting there being like, wow, you're all amazing people. No.
Why did you hang out with her so much? I didn't go to the Mel meetup for Adora. Like, most of the time, Adora spent time on her own. Adora, literally, the first Mel meetup, Adora was, like, entirely gone.
Nobody saw Adora.
The second Mel meetup, she at least came down more, and it was only in the third Mel meetup, when everything was streamed the entire time, that Adora actually showed up. Yeah. Like, Adora's not a good person. Like, they're gonna go through a whole lot. I have my own opinions on, like, Adora, that have been kind of building over time. Things like not beating some of the allegations. So you're not providing the evidence on Adora because it could cause others harm. Yeah, that was the whole thing. And actually, they're proving it. They're proving the point.
It was literal smut. There's many people on this earth that would be absolutely scarred and traumatized and have to go to therapy for seeing smut. A lot of this we have talked to our therapists about because we're exposed to smut. It is horrific, gory, nasty smut. And no, we're not going to give everybody access to that. That is not something someone should just be able to click a link and see.
Like, I've literally have been debating how do I release, like, uncensored versions of this so some people can, so that, like, you as the general public can at least see enough of this to understand that we're not just, like, making up our own fan fiction and then reading it out loud. But we're running into difficulties because every single time I think about how I'm going to do this, I run into the issue of there are going to be minors that might find this. And like, the only way to make sure it's entirely secure is to ID check people, frankly, which is a whole other thing. But yeah, I have my own, I have my own opinions on Adora, but they don't care. They're probably going to talk about them tomorrow, so I might as well talk about them now. Yeah, I did say in Christie's server, and I did say in a different server, that after what I found out about on Monday, that any kind of information about, or not any information, I don't feel comfortable calling Adora a woman. Controversial, I know. You're gonna have to deal with that because they're gonna talk about it tomorrow, so I'm gonna talk about it now. It wasn't something I was gonna broadcast because it's like that's not my business to really put out there. But when I see such malevolent hatred towards women, where we're literally talking about removing and devouring the reproductive organs of females,
I don't even think I want to call a cis woman a woman.
Like, that to me is so extremely, like, there's such extreme hatred there that I need to figure out my own, I told the GCs today, I don't really know what I think about Adora right now, but that is how I feel. I don't feel comfortable calling Adora a woman. I might say she, probably still will, especially while alive, just because we're not going to break that ground. However, it's also a habit.
It's a really big habit.
Yeah, so it's bad. It's bad. If you guys go check out Echoes Live, you'll get the summary of that and why that's the conclusion that I'm on.
Organs.
Oh yeah.
Like female organs. So breast,
Yeah.
ovaries, uterus, cut out, devour.
So my whole attempt, by the way, this isn't even just to like give into GCs, which is like what they want, but this is actually something I don't feel comfortable with. I am probably going to do as best I can with referring to Adora as they them, just for that ambiguity. Another thing I have ever since the OF thing and some of the other things that I found out that are like behind the scenes that I can't actually go forward with is not beating the whole AGB allegations. That was something that I said, and I mean it. Again, not really something that is something for me to broadcast. These are my feelings and are my private feelings, but they're gonna out them, so I'm gonna. Yeah, so those are going to be what's kind of, they're going to try to like slander, but also they're going to try to throw in some of the more spicy things that I've said. I don't think that there's anything worse there.
Also, I just want to say that Adora did not meet mine nor Andy's children.
No.
Adora did not meet any children of ours.
Isn't AGP not even real? It's not real in the component of it being a replacement for trans identities. Like as a paraphilia, it's one of those like jury's out kind of things. Controversial. Ultimately, I'm like everything about Adora, everything that I've seen, because remember, I've had to actually look at these things. I've looked at videos, I've looked at pictures, writings, all of these things, like everything about Adora like makes my skin crawl.
And yeah, again, they were gonna say that Andy was involved, and I'm gonna combat that with, why would Andy bring it to the police or to people on TikTok if she was involved? Like that would make no sense. She would want to hide it, but she's not. She's brought it to the police, and she's brought it to several creators on TikTok who do not like her, that aren't GCs. They aren't like gonna out this stuff. They do not want to talk about it, but yeah, they don't like her. So yeah.
Like I can actually show you even the timeline of events of how I got these messages, like how I got this information about Adora. Let me go ahead and
guys, if Andy was involved, because it's been reported, the police would figure that out, and that would eventually mean that Andy would get in trouble for it too. So like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's been reported. So, but she's not involved, and yeah, people who are involved in those things typically aren't going to report them, right? I do want to be clear while she's like looking at that stuff. I do want to be clear, like the reason that she was saying what she was saying earlier, right, talking about the stuff we've seen, is that a lot of the stuff we saw was very much like related to Adora having very gross opinions about the things that should happen to women, right? About the assault and the cannibalism and all of those things that should happen to women. And then on top of that was like, man, I want this to happen to me though. And so that's why it's like, are you truly identifying as a woman, or are you doing this so that you can have these things happen to you? And that's the difficulty there.
Yeah, there's even like a portion where where they specifically where I'm pretty sure that they reposted it. I don't think that this is something that they wrote themselves. But Adora wrote a piece that is called "Are Women Human?" with a really, really, really graphic image that like is one of the images that literally keep me awake at night. Kind of talking about how men did everything. They built skyscrapers and made cell phones. And all women can do is cook, clean, baby make. Yeah. Not sorry, getting more messages from that side. And even saying, like it says, are women human? And it's like, it says towards the end that women are 3% human and 97% animal, and should thus be regulated under the laws pertaining to domesticated animals. So yeah, I'm having, like, I do, the image, by the way, just so I could describe it for you, massive trigger warning. Take a scroll out if you, like, legitimately, if you're queasy or soft. No, Adora reposted it, I'm pretty confident. Was two women chained to a wall very tightly by their, this part of their body. And then, like, you can see that, like, they're like holding and struggling. One of them has a very red face, kind of thing. Yeah, you get the image. And then they are completely unclothed, with barcodes below their belly button. If that gives you, it's like an indication of what I'm referring to, i.e. their product, i.e. their animals, i.e. their stock. That's what Adora has shared about women. So yes, I do have some struggles with seeing Adora as a woman. Honeybee just found out.
Honeybee, oh my god, Honeybee, we'll fill you on it later.
Adora shared where, I believe that one, it was either her or their Tumblr or a different site that I'm still not going to name because I'm pretty sure it has not been. Or, I mean, actually it has been found, so I'm pretty sure it's the Tumblr. So yeah, I'm being implicated in all of it because I won't share information with Christy. That is their whole thing. That is their whole thing. And they're now taking a victim who came forward because, to be fair, I didn't respond to their last message asking about Adora and stuff because I've dealt with a lot and frankly didn't have time for them, and again, left this account. When I'm done going live, I don't stay on it. I've been around a little bit more lately to check things out. Well, I hate Adora now. You haven't even seen the worst of it. There are things that keep me up at night. Why haven't you let Brayden talk on here? They're not in the requests. Brayden has talked to me in DMs. Brayden is more than welcome to come up and talk. I started the start of the live. That way I could kind of guide the discussion as needed, but Brayden is more than welcome to speak on his own behalf. If Brayden is still here, I can also make sure to ping. Oh, did Brayden request? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Brayden is here. Brayden was a minor, i.e. they didn't tell us about... So I will tell you, for those who are wondering why Brayden didn't share the age, Brayden has specifically said, I'm gonna say this portion for you just so that like that portion is out of the way. He was worried that we would end all contact the moment that we heard about his age, given our rule on TikTok.
So he did not share his age.
Nobody
knew his age.
He is 18 now. Go ahead, Brayden. If you want anything to add, the floor will be yours. I want you to be able to participate in this. Say what you are comfortable with saying. Again, not everybody knows about Christy. This is to the audience. Not everybody knows about Christy. Not everybody knows like what Christy's whole thing is. So none of us are going to harass Brayden. To the GCs, none of us are going to harass Brayden.
I appreciate that, Andy, and I appreciate the space. I want to say, first of all, that I did not know that sharing my story would simply bring this much attention at all, or even get Christy or Andy or anyone this big, thinking about me this way. But I will say that I was one of Adora's victims. I found this out after it was shared, that that she was streaming to multi-platforms, you can understand further from there, and probably use your context skills. But anyways, so before that though, I had talked to Andy, Reggie, and Mel, as you may have heard, and a few others as well, about Nate debates. And that's because he sent me an unsolicited, not asked for, very much not appreciated photo of his nether region. And I was still 16 to 17 at that time. I'm now 18 years old, as Andy explained, how I was in college at that time. But then the day before Election Day, I found out more about Adora. And as Andy mentioned, I texted Andy again. And I understand and don't fault Andy for not responding to that one. I'm sure she's gotten a ton of messages. But like I said, I'll say it again. I did not know that telling my story like this would bring this. And no, in a lot of the chats that have been referenced, no one had asked my age, and I really didn't mention my age. As Andy explained, I thought that they would probably quit talking to me immediately, and I was just trying to tell them my story. And then, I figured out all of this. I even told my story on Echoes Live, the day Andy came forward about all this as well, but the dots weren't connected. So I do appreciate everyone for listening to my story, and Andy, I appreciate you for letting me have this space. And I've called 988 twice in this last week because of this, and I just hope that in a way that it can end soon. And just want to say thank you for letting me up here.
Of course. And I do appreciate your voice. And I do appreciate the fact that you were unaware of what you're telling your story and in the spaces that you had would do. This isn't something you intended, and I know that. And I am very sorry for what happened between you and Nate, and and of course the Adora OF thing is rough.
Do you understand your name is for URLs?
I wish that I had known that you were like a minor at the time, and I understand why you didn't disclose that. That you're not. There's no blaming that, but I would have communicated with you, or I would have communicated that to everybody had I known. This isn't something that I would have kept hidden or secret. And I do feel it is wildly inappropriate that they're going to spin the victim's story to try to hurt other people. Thank you for coming up and talking.
Thank you for
This
having
is
me.
rough.
It is. But thank you again. I'm gonna drop, and I thank everyone, and Peachy. I didn't even know that there was another person out there that was out. And everyone else.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for talking. Keep your peace. And if you feel like you might be harassed in the future, make sure you private your account.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. And this really sucks because like I literally was preparing to go back to peaceful little life and being on my own.
Andy literally went off the app to spend more time with family and our life together. angry they don't have that information are deciding to tell her that she's everything Adora was because she won't share that information with them. So it's really hard.
Like, I legitimately, I
She
would
doesn't
love
want
to,
be
I would love to stay away. Firstly and foremost, I found this information out. I literally, like, I am morally obligated to inform you. I don't care who it would have been about. I don't care how close I am with that person. If it was Dizzy, well, not Dizzy, because Dizzy doesn't have a platform. That would have gone to just the police. But if it was even Tabby, my best friend, and I found shit like this out, first thing I would have done was the same exact gosh darn thing. It does not matter who this was about. But the thing is I would love to go away, and I would love to be gone, and I will be going away, and I will be continuing to be gone.
They were just running.
I'm not going to sit and idly by and like be accused of like being tied up in this completely unjustifiably. They have zero evidence to the claims that they are making.
And if they did have evidence, they shouldn't be doing lives about it over and over and over again. They should be going to the cops. Because I'm going to be so honest. As what they would call a natural-born woman, I would love for you to go to the cops if you have evidence like that on Andy. Because I let her run my kid. So please, if for some ungodly reason you guys have evidence like that, go to the cops. Don't make a live and be like, look, this is who you listen to. Go to the cops for at least my child's sake.
I'm legit, like, it's very easy for people to, because, like, believe you me, have I gotten told by, like, 5 million people what I should have done. And it's very easy for you to, like, come up with that in hindsight. Not everything that I have ever done is perfect. Don't catch me saying that again. I don't know why my mods muted you. I'm not looking at your mods. Or I'm not looking at my mods. Like, but what I am trying to do is do what's right. I could have just left it to the police. Could have just called, left it there. The problem is the door could have come back, and it takes a long time to do these investigations. The way that they are doing it, from what I understand, and I am waiting for a call back from the analyst who's attached to this, is they're going to go and look for it themselves. I.e., they're going to follow all of this themselves before they even reach out to me for anything from me. So this is going to be a long process, and in all of that time, it's not like people are gonna start picking Adora up. No. And if Mel had set up another meetup, God forbid Adora being there, or if Adora had come into the trusted support of anybody else, the content that I have seen is dangerous enough that, like, I can't in good faith leave that alone. Believe you me, I have a lot of people on my side of things, the lefty side of things, who are mad at me for disclosing it, which to me is like the most morally bankrupt thing that you could ask me to do.
Like, literally, what if you didn't disclose it and Adora kept going lives because that's what they were planning on doing? Adora planned on coming back because of all the support, and people kept supporting. Like, that's the thing, is investigations and police stuff take a very long time, and Adora could have grown supporters and like started DMing people and meeting up with people. Imagine if like 5 more people had met up with Adora before they were done with their investigation. Like, this was the best way that we could think of as human beings that worried about a community that Adora could be possibly getting close to.
Is Mel upset about you disclosing? I don't know anything about Mel. I'm gonna be real. I don't have any idea. The thing is I truly cannot in rightful mind know that like investigations take as long as they do and do nothing. I cannot. Because if any of you had befriended Adora and ended up in isolated situations with that person, not only would you have felt disgusted in the way that I do, just by being in proximity when this information comes out, but if Adora had crossed the lines that they had fantasized about crossing, I would have let that happen. So yes, you can tell me that I'm big bad for how dare I out trans person. But I refuse to be dishonest. That is something I cannot hide. I cannot hide. I cannot sit on. It is morally bankrupt to sit on that. Edith, you wanted to yap about feminism.
Yes, I did. Because I just think it's like quite hilarious how all these gender criticals want to talk about how, oh, we have to stop letting trans women into bathrooms and shit because we care so much about protecting cis women. But then they want to see they want to see literal evidence of cis women being like sliced up. Like you want to read smut about women being how do I say tortured? Why would you want to see that? Why would you want to fucking see that? If you actually care about women's like their safety and shit, you wouldn't want to see that. You would not want to see pictures of women in like painful and weird situations. You wouldn't want to see like literal pictures of women who we don't even know if they're being exploited or not. Like we don't know if they took those pictures consensually. And you want to see them because you hate trans people so much that you need to have like the evidence of somebody doing something awful so that you can put it on your screen and demonize all these other people in the name of protecting women. What the hell are you talking about? You don't give a fuck about women. If you gave a fuck about women, you would not want to see it. You would not want to see it. Somebody just said, why are we kink shaming? Get real. Get real, Ale. Some kinks need to be shamed. I'm gonna be so fucking for real. Some kinks... Oh, there's an echo. Some kinks need to be shamed. Also, what the fuck are you talking about? If you want to literally consume the genitalia of another human being, you want to consume it as a dinner, you're sick in the head. Something's wrong with you. And I mean that with all the ableism. That is crazy. Don't ever say you're saying this shit because, oh my god, oh no, bring back kink shaming. Bring back shame.
We can't say we mean that with all the ableism.
But I do for that part. If something is if you want to see somebody's body parts be cooked up and all this shit, you are sick in the head. Something is wrong with you. If you need help finding a therapist, I can help you. Reach out to me. Actually, don't, because I don't want to fucking talk to you. Go on Psychology Today, and you can find a great therapist.
Let me be clear. This isn't even like about rehashing the Adora thing. Like, yeah, if you guys like, I'm not showing you like why do you want to see that? For some of them, it's you literally want to just expose it for the purposes of hurting a trans community. Christy. Because Christy wants to create the narrative that all trans people are like this, and these are the people sharing our bathrooms, blah, 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 blah. The thing is, like I said, I'm still trying to work out how I can release this in a way that some of you can actually be grabbed. I don't know why people are being muted. If you guys are muting TERFs, go for it. Just make sure you're watching who you're muting.
I I don't know. Someone said, Abby, where are you at? And so I muted them. That's the only one I did.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're not tracking down people. Absolutely not. Because the only, like, let's be so for real. Who knows? Abby's name is a part of that. Yeah, you deserve to be muted.
Bro, Frankie S in the comments asking me, why do you think ableism is even okay to joke about? I'm not saying that ableism is okay to joke about. I'm saying that it's okay to say that somebody's sick in the fucking head if they want to see people be tortured. I don't think that's like a hot take. I think that's actually like a very, very cold, frigid take.
The point of this discussion being is that all of these fucked up things Christy will be now trying to put against me. And while normally I let this go, I have talked about so much. And never, ever, ever have I talked about Christy. Like, no, I've never held a live specifically with the focus of Christy. But specifically, I'm talking about this now because when it comes to unverifiable accusations of things like
so heinous
P3DO stuff, or anything that Adora got up to, frankly, or anything about like Nate sending unsolicited pictures to minors.
I don't think we're hiding.
Like, none of us knew any of this, and you just want to try to make it about us because you're mad because I didn't play nice with you. And by play nice, I mean I didn't share my toys. I'm sorry, I didn't give you the tools. I'm sorry, I didn't give you the file. You blackmailing me, and now going through with the very thing that I said you were blackmailing me with, is not going to change my mind. You have found quite a bit. At this point, you're literally doing it out of principle. If you go to the police, good for you. I don't care. But you're gonna come for me. For what? For what? Because you have logically deduced they must have known.
No, because all that Christy is showing people is that if they do find information like this, they shouldn't tell anybody ever. They shouldn't come forward with it. All Christy is showing that people is that if they do find information as heinous about this, on the very people that Christy does not like, they should never go public with it. That is what you are showing people.
Yeah, literally you are showing people that like trans people should hide this information because otherwise you'll be attacked for it. That's what
like if you
Christy,
want, Christy,
that's the lesson you're teaching.
If you want to have this information ready and available, that's not how you act.
Like, legitimately, all you've done is convince me that there's no reason why you should know any of this.
There's no, like literally, it's like I'm sitting there here just like, you're literally...
Oh, no, I'm not blaming Christy for something that Adora did.
No.
What I am blaming Christy for is that she's now trying to hang me with this information.
She's trying to say that...
She's trying to spin a whole narrative, a whole story, that I'm somehow involved in it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm blaming on Christy.
Because you came forward with it. They just can't be happy. They just can't be happy that information made it to the cops. They can't be happy that information exists. They are just unhappy because you didn't give them the Discord with all the nitty-gritty details.
Which, by the way, if you are somebody that I know as a content creator, I'm still willing to add you into if you need the evidence. Uncensored. We'll have to have a talk.
I'll say it again. If Christy and her friends have been making these claims for a year, then they should have evidence themselves. And if they don't and need us to give it to them, that means they were making baseless claims. They were lying.
God, how do I specifically talk to you? If you are... Okay, if you have personal DMs with me, oh my fucking god! I'm so upset with you. I just want... I'm talking to one specific person. I'm so upset with you. Holy shit, do we have things to catch up on. Please, somebody take...
Okay, good.
She's talking about me, guys. She's so upset with me because,
Eat it. Wait, I do want to address though. So a little while back, somebody said like, are like something about like, are we excusing it? This was back when we were talking about the Nate stuff. Like, were we excusing it because we thought that the person wasn't like, we thought the person was an adult, right? Or we thought the person wasn't a minor. And the answer is no, right? When they found out that Nate was doing this to a bunch of people, including me, we did a whole live where we shared stories and we talked about how this person shouldn't be around anymore, and this, you need to be careful because this person is dangerous and did these things to all of these people. The difference is that when somebody sends an unsolicited picture to a minor, if Andy had known, she's a mandated reporter, right? So if she had known the person was a minor and was receiving that from Nate, that would have been that point in which that she would have had to report it to the police, which is very different than when you have a bunch of adults saying, here's my stories, because then those adults, it's kind of like up to them if they would like it reported or not, and those kinds of things. But when it comes to minors, it has to be. It doesn't matter what, if they say they want it reported or not. So that was the entire point, is that she wanted to make it clear nobody knew the age of this person and had reason to believe that this person actually was an adult. And they even admitted themselves that they were kind of intentionally avoiding talking about their age because they knew that everybody had pretty strict rules about who they were in contact with. In reality, right, like talking, if you're like walking down the street, again, like, I don't know if I said this earlier, I think I did. If you're like walking down the street and there's a little girl with her mom and you're like, oh my gosh, hi, and she waves hi at you, right? It's not illegal to talk to somebody that's under the age of 18. Right. And so the reality is it's not that big of a deal to just have regular conversation, and especially to hear people out if they're trying to like confide in you because they had an experience. But still, we, for the most part, do not want to talk to people that are underage on this app anyway. The problem comes in, the part where it becomes illegal is Nate sending explicit photos to a minor who can't consent to those things, right? That's the part that's a problem. So, yeah, and just a reminder, Echo does have the recording of Andy's live earlier this week on YouTube. It's Echo Debates, ECHO Debates. And that's where you can see the discussions about all of the things that were discovered about Adora, what that we've been alluding to related to like cannibalism and all of that stuff. And then this one, I think, is also being recorded, so you could watch it back if you missed it. Also, the live, it's on a playlist alone called Adora. If I believe Echo also had the live earlier that prompted this one, where Cuddlefish and Christy and all those people were talking and essentially spreading information that wasn't correct. Can I repeat where that is? Yes, Echo Debates, ECHO Debates. Echo said that the one about Adora is in a playlist alone called Adora. It's on YouTube.
Why are people commenting cannibalism? Did y'all not
Somebody
hear
said,
my
is
rant?
cannibalism wrong, folks?
I would say so.
Yes, cannibalism.
Hot
Sorry,
take, I guess.
you're gonna yuck somebody's yum? Cannibalism is really where the line is crossed?
Yeah, I'm gonna kink shame. I'm gonna say cannibalism is bad.
This reminds me of when I had somebody in my old server where but like back before it was all. Anyway, oh hey Haley, Jesus Christ, Adora got like hard canceled by me, and by my lovely panelists and many of my
Careers
other
ended
friends.
7.
What?
Careers ended 7.
By your
Careers ended 7.
Oh,
career
7.
ended. Yeah.
Can I do 7.5? Because I did this twice with Adora.
Well, just do 8.
Yeah, you can do it twice. It counts as 2 because both were really bad.
Okay.
Like, you did end her career, but then she had the nerve to come back, and then someone was like, hey, she came back, and I looked into her a little bit more, and this is really bad.
No, Haley, she hasn't. I don't know if you know or were caught up on any. I don't know if you know or were caught up on anything that Adora got up to, and that I had exposed about them. If you want information, please message me. It's too much, and it's too much for me to rehash here. Yeah, there is so much. But there's what you will notice, because Christy will talk about me quite a bit, is that Christy will say a lot of things and show up a lot of screenshots, some of which don't say the things that they're saying. Some of them will not indicate what they are telling you that they're indicating. Like one of them is, oh yeah, these screenshots were a year old, so you knew about Adora a year ago. No, we didn't. The screenshots were about Nate. This will be a screenshot that'll come up tomorrow. I'm sure you'll get context.
Nobody knew about Adora before the moment that it came out.
Like
But you know what's like?
There's no evidence that any of us knew. You'll never see evidence that any of us knew because we didn't. Go ahead, Edith.
I was just gonna say that the like really messed up part about all of this is that people who are in that group, like the gender critical group, did not believe and straight up said that Peachy's story when Peachy came out about Nate sending her an unsolicited photo. They all said no, actually that didn't fucking happen, and she's a liar, and this, that, and the other thing. And that's how I know that they fucking hate women and they don't give a fuck. And yeah. Why are you pointing? You hate women?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just read the message. Erica just said, "Oh, I think it got
Someone
muted."
got muted.
Who told you not to expose the Adora stuff? Me. I chose to not expose it to everybody. I chose to do it in a very particular way.
The person that came to us didn't say not to expose it. They just said not to put their name behind it. They said they didn't want their name involved, but they found this. The person who said, hey, I'm going to send you this information, but do not start talking about these screen names, because you'll find everything if you know the screen names, was Andy. Andy's the one who sent this stuff to other creators and said, hey, don't share this with your friends. Thank you. Sorry you had to see this. Just had to make sure that you could... I just feel like you are the person in your friend group that your friend would believe over me, pretty much. Because Andy does know that there are multiple people who would say, I don't believe it because Andy said it. So Andy said, I'm going to get several people who people would actually believe over me and have them corroborate.
So which people were mad that you exposed this?
Oh.
It's that the people like Christy and Cuddlefish and them, they said that like the way it was exposed. Echo, I swear.
There's still an echo. You're unmuted.
They were mad that that Andy came out about this and then didn't want to just share it to anybody and everybody because of how bad it is, like how much of a you can't just put that shit out everywhere and like expose a bunch of people to it. It's that bad. They were mad that she came out about this. People were mad that they've convinced themselves that we've had this information for a long time and decided to come out about it now. That's not the case. Again, somebody was looking in, no, not in an empty room. For some reason, when Andy's mic is on, it like echoes, but we don't know why. So yeah, no, so they were just mad that like we came out about it when we did. They're convinced that it was stuff that we've had for a long time and chose to come out about it now, when the reality is that the person who dug into this basically was digging into it throughout like the weekend and finding all this stuff and then basically put it all together in a way that was like they could explain to us what they found and show us all the things because it was a lot. And then it got dropped on us the morning of the day that we did that live. And then they were extra mad because we kept it pretty locked down to where we only gave certain people access because of how sensitive it is. And then Andy didn't want to give them access to it because we can't trust them to not just like spread it all like throughout the Reddit and post a bunch of screenshots of really nasty things. And so because they're mad, they're trying to retaliate by making up lies and acting like everybody is involved in doing the same things that Adora was doing, which isn't true. So that's the gist.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Remember everything you're about to see within the coming time, because they're going to keep going and keep going and keep going. Especially as it pertains to knowing anything about Adora prior. Like, I literally told you as soon as I found out, both about the OF and about all of this really messed up stuff from recently. Everything that they're about to say is going to be a lie, because they're going to want to hurt me with it. They're going to want to hurt me with it. And I implore you to pay attention to the screenshots and actually pay attention to what the text shows you, because they will not corroborate their stories. It will not corroborate. You never are able to prove whatever Adora is. Okay, that's a weird wish, but okay. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I have something to talk about with somebody on the side. Somebody I've been fucking waiting for to talk to. And I need
Is that
you
who I think it
guys.
is?
No, you don't know who it is, Edith.
No, yeah. You are unfamiliar with this person. Yeah, I gotta wrap it up.
No, it's nobody. Yeah, they're not a creator. This person's not a creator.
Anyway, everybody, have an amazing day. Enjoy the tea, I guess, but no, pay attention to what they're gonna show you, because it's gonna be a lie.